It is happening again in California.
This morning, a frightening scene as wildfires rage in California.
There's the sun completely throttled out.
LA County declaring a local emergency. The Canyon Fire exploding in size, reaching nearly 5,000 acres in less than 24 hours. Flames bearing down on hundreds of homes and power lines, forcing evacuations and damaging several structures.
The Canyon Fire, it's being dubbed, burning just outside of Los Angeles County just 6 months after the winter fires that were experienced there, all under the leadership of Mayor Karen Bass. According to Pacific Disaster Center, the Canyon Fire is impacting Southern California's Los Angeles and Ventura counties and has consumed an estimated 4,856 acres and remains uncontained. 0% containment at the time of this reporting. Now, this later report, happening now as of an hour ago at time of recording of this video, separate structures from homes were destroyed because of the Canyon Fire. Homes almost got lost on Halsey Canyon Road, but firefighters were able to use strategic water drops and fight the fire from the ground. So far, the Canyon Fire has burned 5,370 acres, but 25% of the fire is finally contained. However, that leaves 75% of it still active and burning.
This is damage from the Canyon Fire in the Castaic region, where this structure was burned next to a home that is still standing. And this old pickup truck also was destroyed by this fire. A couple of homes were spared here nearby by water drops probably. It's very wind still right now, almost no wind at all. But that could change.
So now it's time for the real question. What in the hell are Karen Bass, the mayor of LA where this is happening, and Governor Gavin Newsom, the governor in the state that this is happening, what on earth are they doing right now? How are these fires continually breaking out like this, and how are they so reckless in the containment and handling of them in their own state and cities where it's well known, especially during the summertime when temperatures heat up, that these fires are going to happen? How is it allowed to get this bad every single time? And I got news for you guys. I have some sinister information I'm going to talk about later on in this video. And this information is going to change your entire outlook on these Democrat-run cities and states and on these natural disasters that continually happen inside of them. When it comes to Mayor Bass specifically, people do in fact blame her for these fires and disasters burning down LA. I mean, if this continues happening, there won't be a Los Angeles County left. Her entire city is burning while she's the mayor of it. And people are so fed up at this point, and were fed up even back during the winter fires in January, that a petition was formed for a recall of Mayor Karen Bass. You can see here on X. We'll have to do the math, but here's the information on how many signatures are required on the petition to recall Karen Bass, the mayor of LA, and also Governor Gavin Newsom. With the question being asked, how many do we need, being of course answered right here, to determine the number of signatures required in a city like Los Angeles, which is heavily populated, they need 10% if the registration of voters is 100,000 or above, which it obviously is in Los Angeles. And so somebody replies, there are 1,993,000 voters in Los Angeles, so 199,300 signatures are needed in order to recall Mayor Karen Bass. But here's the craziest part. This is the official change.org petition to demand the immediate resignation of Mayor Karen Bass, and on the right you can see it currently has 201,187 verified signatures. And that's verified signatures. So how is she still in office? How hasn't there been a vote to recall her, or however the process goes, is beyond me, because according to the information I'm seeing here, there's more than enough signatures for there to begin a recall on Mayor Karen Bass. All the while, mind you, what is Mayor Karen Bass doing right now? Well, apparently she's supposed to be cutting the red tape that is prohibiting people from rebuilding their homes that were victims of the Palisade winter fires 6 months ago, especially after President Donald Trump publicly humiliated her here, demanding that she allow people to do so.
And we are 100% committed to getting this neighborhood rebuilt again. You mentioned a couple of things in terms of us expediting. So I signed executive directives right away so that we could cut the red tape, we could get people back building as fast as possible, and we're going to continue doing that.
Mayor, the one thing is they are saying they will not be allowed to start for 18 months.
No, that will not be the case.
Okay, I just hope
That
you're
will
right.
not, you can hold me to it.
There's 4 groups said that. and
No.
That would be, they should
No,
be able
that-
to do it. They should be able to start tonight.
They should be able to start tonight. And she said that will not be the case. We're going to make sure that we approve the building permits. Mind you, a building permit needs to be issued. These people who had their homes burned down in the winter California fire 6 months ago now need to crawl to the government while they're homeless and ask permission from the mayor to rebuild their home that they lost in a fire. This is what a liberal state looks like. Now, this article from Los Angeles Magazine features Rick Caruso on Palisades, rebuilding efforts. We deserve better. The real estate tycoon called out Mayor Bass on X, saying the post-wildfire rebuilding efforts aren't as rapid as the city claims. And Palisades locals are still combating City Hall's endless red tape. This is written by Daisy Levine on July 7th, 2025, so months after President Donald Trump grilled and humiliated her publicly. This article features Rick Caruso, the real estate tycoon's tweet, where he says, "We deserve better. Mayor Bass has repeatedly emphasized the rapid pace of rebuilding, including issuing permits. Thousands of homes were destroyed, and yet fewer than 100 building permits have been issued after 6 months. Does anyone believe this is rapid rebuilding?" And upon doing some of my own research, there's been over 1,200 affected homes from those winter fires that Mayor Karen Bass insisted right to Trump's face she was going to cut the red tape and quickly issue them rebuilding permits so that they could rebuild their homes. Out of those over 1,200 homes, it looks like barely over 100 have been issued permits to rebuild as of right now, August 8th, 2025. However, despite this fact, it does look like Mayor Karen Bass has done something incredible. She started a program. She has started a program called Shine LA. And this program is to just help lift everyone's spirits in Los Angeles right now during these hard times while their homes have been burnt to the ground and while they're struggling to get permits from her to rebuild their homes and are essentially homeless. This is what she had to say on this.
So we've launched this program called Shine LA.
I'm well aware. I reported on Shine.
I know you have, and we appreciate that
Yeah.
because we want to lift people's spirits. And what I've learned over the years, and I've been around for a while, so I've been through some really bad challenges,
Right.
earthquakes, civil unrest, climate change, all of the challenges that we faced. And one of the things that helps us get out of that is for people to be actively involved.
Now, mind you, this was a program started by her. She launched this program. This is not a program where victims of the Palisade fires can quickly get in line to get the permits much faster to rebuild their homes. This is just a program designed to lift the spirits of Los Angeles residents. This is what she's doing to cut the red tape. I also want to point something else out. What is Gavin Newsom doing, the governor of California, where all of this is happening? Well, Gavin Newsom is a podcaster now.
Change the conversation. And that's why I'm launching a new podcast. And this is going to be anything but the ordinary politician podcast. I'm going to be talking to people directly that I disagree with, as well as people I look up to. But more important than anything else, I'll be talking directly with you, the listener.
I wonder what people whose homes are being burned down in California right now would have to say if he, invited them onto his podcast, since he wants to talk to us, the listener. So while the governor is podcasting and while the mayor of LA is creating Shine LA programs to help boost the overall spirits of her citizens while their homes are burning, we have actual Californian politicians proposing bills in the Senate to turn fire-ravaged lots into affordable housing in Los Angeles County. And this is the sinister part I was referencing at the beginning of this video, because this is not what it seems when you first read a headline like this. Gavin Newsom just allocated $101 million in taxpayer funds to build low-income multifamily housing on land scorched by the Palisades, Eaton, and Hughes wildfires. Now the California Senate just passed SB 549, a bill that would let LA buy up destroyed lots, control the rebuild, and steer funding towards income-restricted housing. Burn it, buy it, rebuild it is how they want it. Still think this wasn't planned. And so that's essentially what you have going on here in a nutshell. Now, I want to point out something important. This bill has been stalled because of how controversial it is, and they've delayed deciding on it until next year. Now, whether or not they've deliberately created that gap, hoping hoping that the California citizens will forget about this being a thing or not. That's up for debate, but at the end of the day, the bottom line is these Democrat senators and politicians are sneaky, and they're always looking to undercut and take advantage of their own voters and citizens. What we're talking about potentially here is a scenario where somebody was living in their expensive California home that became victims of wildfires. They lost everything. LA Mayor Karen Bass won't cut the red tape as quick as she promised, probably intentionally delaying the permits that are required. Yes, permits from their own citizens who have lost their homes, now having to crawl back to the government in California to ask and beg and plead to rebuild their own homes that they lost. She won't give it to them in a timely manner, and now undermining their own citizens, the Californian government, spearheaded probably by Gavin Newsom, is trying to create bills where they can now buy up this land at no doubt a much cheaper cost, while also doing so, mind you, using property taxes and their own citizens' money against them essentially in this equation. And then in a fashion where they spit on the face of these victims, they want to clear the land out and rebuild low-income apartment housing over that land and invite in all of the low-income citizens of California. And before Trump was cracking down on it, how much do you want to bet a lot of this would have been for illegal immigrants? This is California Governor hopeful Steve Hilton speaking on this matter.
What we see here in Pacific Palisades and what we see across California now is the Democrat war on single-family homes accelerating. That's why they're not issuing permits. That's why it's taking so long. They don't want people to stay here. They don't want people to rebuild the Palisades the way it was. They want it rebuilt the way Gavin Newsom is talking. Reimagining LA 2.0. What does that mean? It means apartment buildings everywhere, just like they want to see apartment buildings everywhere in California. This is their agenda all along. You see it in all this legislation over the years. Senate Bill 9, Senate Bill 677, SB 450, SB 222, and now the real threat right across the state, SB 79, right now in the legislature, that would enable apartment buildings up to 7 stories to be built anywhere in California. No one has a say about it. That's what they want to see here in Pacific Palisades. Is that how they live? Is that how Gavin Newsom lives? Does Gavin Newsom live in an apartment above transit? No. He lives in a single-family home. Californians want to live in single-family homes.
And he's got an incredible point at the end there, especially. This is Gavin Newsom's $9.1 million mansion that he's afforded off of a $224,000 a year salary. That's what it looks like. That's his home right there. And of all people, believe it or not, Mel Gibson actually predicted that they were going to give the Palisades the Maui treatment many, many months ago. He knew exactly where they were going with this.
Newsom wants to do the Maui plan. What do you think the Maui locals think of the Maui plan? Yeah. I'm sorry, there aren't any more locals living there anymore. They all had to leave town. Do you think the people of the Palisades or Altadena are going to be consulted about how their areas are reimagined by Newsom and Bass? No. Absolutely. No. It'll be more like the chairman Maui plan.
The Maui plan, just like how they removed all of the locals from Maui in that fashion after those fires, that seems to be the plan for the Palisades. Remove all the people living there on the land that they formerly owned, mind you, and by rights should have a claim to, and then replace them with low-income housing and low-income locals, or illegal immigrants as well. And so again, make it impossible to get a permit, and all of a sudden the appeal of, well, just sell the land back to the government in a discounted fashion, cut your losses, and get out of town. That seems to be what California is going for, and it's not a surprise. It's the most liberal state in America, and this is just how liberal politicians operate. They don't care about you. What are your thoughts and opinions on all of this, though? What's going on with that petition? Should Mayor Karen Bass be ousted as the mayor of Los Angeles? And what about Gavin Newsom? He's busy podcasting while his entire state seems to increasingly be burning to the ground. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. Subscribe to American Advocates for more content like this. It's 100% free to do. And thanks for watching.